Hey there, and welcome to This Explainer. Today, we are diving deep into mastering context in Claude Code. If you've ever felt like your AI coding assistant is, well, just totally guessing instead of actually helping you out, or if you're pulling your hair out over AI hallucinations, you are absolutely in the right place. We're going to break down exactly how Claude's memory works so you can start generating code with pinpoint accuracy.
Okay, let's run through our agenda real quick. We'll start with the AI working memory, then move right into building the foundation, how to effectively add context, the very real problem of context bloat, and finally, how to clean up your session. Let's get into it.
All right, Section 1, the AI working memory. Understanding exactly how your AI model thinks. Let's start with a really simple thought experiment. If I just walked up to you out of nowhere and said the word banana, how would you react? You'd probably think I was a bit crazy, right? Without any background info, you have no clue if I want to eat a banana, buy one, or if I'm just randomly naming fruits. But if I said, hey, my favorite fruit is a banana, well, suddenly it makes perfect sense. This is exactly why AI models need proper framing. They need that background context to understand what you actually want, rather than just blindly guessing. So think of context as the AI's actual working memory. The context window is simply the specific, relevant information that lets the AI move way beyond its general, out-of-the-box knowledge and actually act specifically on your codebase. When you optimize this working memory, you're essentially stopping the AI from making those frustrating, uneducated blind guesses.
Now, the sheer scale of this memory is honestly incredible. 200,000 tokens. Claude Code operates with this massive 200,000 token context window. To put that into perspective for a second, a single token is roughly 3 or 4 characters of a word. So while we humans might walk into a room and instantly forget why we went in there, Claude is holding a massive amount of your code base, details, files, chat history, prompts, literally all in its active memory at exactly the same time.
Moving right along to Section 2, building the foundation. This is all about creating your project's baseline memory.
This process is super straightforward, but absolutely crucial. Just by running the /init command in your terminal, Claude acts like a master detective. It automatically explores your entire repository. We're talking analyzing your package setup, checking out your state management, looking at UI frameworks like Tailwind, and scanning your whole folder structure. Then it summarizes all that goodness into a brand new human-readable file called claude.md. Think of it as a custom mini documentation for your project that Claude references every single time it implements a feature.
But, memory isn't just a one-size-fits-all kind of deal. You've really got to understand these 3 distinct memory types. First, your project memory, that claude.md file. That's meant to be tracked by version controls so your whole team is sharing the exact same architectural guidance. Pretty cool, right? But what if you have your own specific tooling preferences? That goes into local memory, the Claude local.md file, which is untracked and entirely personal. And finally, for coding styles you want Claude to use across every single project on your machine, you drop that into global memory at the root folder level. It keeps team rules shared and personal preferences completely private.
All right, Section 3, how to add context. It's time to actively feed that working memory.
Instead of vaguely asking Claude to, say, fix a link and letting it blindly scan your massive project, you can surgically inject context. It's awesome. Just use the @ symbol followed by a specific file path. Or simply keep a file open in your IDE with your cursor right inside it. Claude automatically knows that's where you're working. You can even highlight specific sections of complex logic to hone right in on a problem. Oh, and get this, you can literally drag and drop images directly into the chat session. Imagine dropping in a screenshot of a cool 3D button and just telling Claude, hey, make my UI component look exactly like this.
And it's incredibly dynamic on the fly, too. Say you suddenly want to establish a new standard practice. You don't even have to leave your chat to update your docs. Just type a hash symbol directly in the chat window, followed by your new rule, like whenever we make a new page component, always add a link to it in the header. Claude instantly memorizes that and injects it straight into your claude.md file for future reference. Total game changer.
Let's look at Section 4, the context bloat problem. This is what happens when your session history turns into a massive trap. Imagine this workflow timeline for a second. Hour 1, you are grinding away heavily on a brand new shopping basket feature. By hour 2, you've added multiple files, fired off tons of prompts, and gotten a bunch of AI code responses back. Your session context is absolutely stuffed with shopping basket logic. But then, hour 3 hits, and you get sidetracked. You notice a button looks a bit weird, so you totally pivot and ask Claude to fix this completely unrelated button UI.
The problem here is pretty massive.
By doing that pivot, you are forcing Claude to sift through your entire bloated shopping basket history just to fix a simple button. All that unrelated chat history, it just acts as useless noise. It heavily confuses the AI model, and honestly, this is exactly what leads to those wildly inaccurate results, or worse, unwanted inline edits where Claude suddenly starts dumping button code into your shopping cart files. Nobody wants that.
Which brings us to Section 5, cleaning up your session. Here are your essential context hygiene commands.
These commands absolutely empower you to take back control of the AI. If your session is feeling bloated but you're still grinding on that same task, just hit it with the /compact command. It squashes all your history down into a neat, token-saving summary so you can keep moving. Now, if you went down a rabbit hole or got sidetracked by a bug, just hit the escape key twice. That lets you quite literally rewind time to a previous message, trimming away those useless tangents. And if you finished your feature and want to start a brand new unrelated task, easy, /clear. It resets your context right back to its pristine original state.
Also, don't forget your workflow management. You can always use the /exit command to cleanly drop out of the chat interface and back to your regular terminal. And when you're ready to dive back in, /res is a total lifesaver. It lists out your previous sessions so you can easily resume a specific feature branch with all of its context perfectly intact.
Now keep a sharp eye out. Claude will actually give you a subtle warning in the interface when you are approaching that massive 200,000 token limit. If you see that warning pop up, or honestly, if you just feel the code quality suddenly starting to drop or get a bit sloppy, take that as your immediate, glaring signal to run one of those cleanup commands we just talked about.
By mastering these tools, you are fundamentally transforming this AI from a confused, guessing assistant into a laser-focused coding partner. You are the one dictating its memory, which means you dictate the quality of your code. So, I'll leave you with this. What is the very first context hygiene command you are going to try out during your next session? Think about how much time you'll save once your AI stops guessing and starts actually knowing your codebase inside and out. Thanks for hanging out with me for this explainer, and happy coding!